Welcome everyone to round 2 of May 7th Star Wars Unlimited Locals Night over at Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. If you guys are looking for a place to play some Star Wars Unlimited, check out Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. Thursday nights, 6 p.m., $5 entry. And I am here repping Yularen Red against Maul LOF Force Blue. And hey, no worries. This isn't our locals dominator Maul LOF Force Blue player. This is a different player playing Maul LOF Force Blue, so you don't have to worry about it, folks. He's still here, but it isn't our normal player who dominates many of our Game 3's win-it-alls with their Maul. So anyways, I was running this Yularen mainly because I wanted to try him out before next week. The week after this one is our store showdown at Valkyrie Vault. That's what I was going to play. Decided not to play him, decided to play something else, decided to go with Thrawn. Force Yellow, got the win overall, so I was able to get my champion, my finalist, and my top 4 card for, of course, Maul. So meaning I got my playset of Maul, but it really didn't really matter because we only had 8 people, or I think 6 people at that entire event, so everyone walked away with top 8, and the top 4 players walked away with a top 4. And top 2 got a finalist card, of course. So, yeah, if you were there, you basically got it. But then again, the Maul isn't good. It's not a great, powerful Maul and all of that. He's not even that good of a legendary. Unlike last season's store showdown, where everyone was trying to play for the Queen because the Queen was meta relevant. So I don't mind it when they don't do meta relevant cards for the store showdowns because it does allow people who aren't really hunting them to like go for them and all of that. But nonetheless, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the decks. Everybody, it's Maul. It's Maul LOF Force Blue. We don't need to talk about it. We've seen Maul 1,000 times on this channel, typically in his showcase form, not in his showcase form here. And Yularen is all about playing guys. So Lauren's playing a mass amount of bodies and swinging for a lot of damage. So Yularen stays in front in action, tap him, attack with a unit, and then you may attack with a unit that has a less cost than the unit you originally attacked with. So if you attack with a 3, you can attack with a 2. So it allows you simultaneous attacking at your opponent's base. And then he flips for 5, and then on his backside, he states the exact same thing on attack. You may attack with a cost 4 or less guy as well. So mainly because Yularen's a 5, meaning that all 4 or less guys you can attack with as well. So that's your whole kind of gimmick, is that you're multi-attacking your opponent's base, allowing you to use aggressive tactics like that alongside of course, aggressive negotiations. Everybody's favorite red card. So without further ado, let's jump into game number 1. Here we go for game number 1. We're going to start off with a Karis, and then we're going to go for a BT1 on my side of the board. Say, and with that, we're going to pass immediately, and then kind of see what we really want to do here. I did draw into a high singer, which kind of really does suck here because I didn't have any green to play with. I do, of course. I will say through all these matches I had with my opponent, I drew into my interrogation droid every single time. I saw that thing more times in my hand than I ever want to admit. As we see, the Karis is going to do 2 damage to our base, and then that's going to generate the force. And then we're going to go for, of course, a high singer here. Again, no green card to play. I wish that had been a Dengar or anything else here, rather than a high singer, because high singer's effect is on play. You may give a unit, minus, may give a green unit an experience token here, as we're going to go for the effect of BT1. So we did a whirlwind to give it -3, because as long as you control the force, and then basically after that giving the -3, I attacked with the BT1 just so I can mill the top card of my deck. I did hit a red card there in the Dengar, which I had drawn that turn, and then we could have gone for then we had the play of High Singer. So High Singer is going to kill off the Karis there, because I just want to strip my opponent from having any force units. I'm then going to go play the droid missile platform here in the space so I can do stuff like that. So yeah, the High Singer also didn't get its on death skill, because I really was thinking about putting out the gunship there and then swinging in with the High Singer, then allow the gunship to get an additional experience point, but I wanted my opponent to have no force unit on the board state here. So as when we're going to see the flip. We're going to see go for a Shatter Point. Shatter Point can kill a unit with 3 or less health points here. We're going to go for Haymaker. Haymaker onto the Yularen to immediately kill off the turret, so I don't have to worry about the turret being a nuisance, as the turret did hit my base there. And then we're going to kind of figure out what exactly we want to do from here. I do have some pretty good things going on my side of the board right now, but my opponent is countering me pretty hard here. As we're going to go for an Anakin. Anakin's going to give -3 to, of course, Yularen, because again, the only villainy cards here. I'm kind of figuring out what I want to do here. I could go for, of course, I think in my opinion, I should have gone for it. So yeah, we do go for the invisible hand, the prestige visible hand here. I'm going to look at the top, I think 8 or 10 cards in my hand, and I can then play a droid with a cost of 2 or less. I add a droid to my hand. If it's a cost 2 or less, I can then play it for free. Unfortunately, I only see 1 droid. I do see 2 droids here, interrogation droid, but it doesn't really do anything here. That is my problem. So I'm going to go for the 000 here. I did have the interrogation droid, and maybe there would have been a point of maybe playing something completely different here. Anyways, we're going to go for an effect of Maul to hit Yularen for hit Yularen and the invisible hand there for 1 damage each, and the Yularen then is going, and then Maul is going to attack the Yularen there and take back 2 damage points. So right now I am now struggling to even win this game state here. I do have aggressive negotiations and all that. So anyways, I do have craving power. I decide to go for a craving power here under that, and then that's going to allow me to immediately kill off the Maul there, and then immediately removing that. But if my opponent has any ways like a shadow point that can immediately kill off that object. So anyways, we're going to go for Darth Vader to give a shield token to, of course, itself, and then a shield token to, of course, the invisible hand. And when the Vader does attack, it allows to kill off unit with a shield token on it. So I'm just going to go for immediately for that swing of 8 there. And then I'm going to go look at my top cards here, and then I'm going to find a droid. And unfortunately, I miss absolutely. So I'm just going to go for the 𝐒𝐲𝐶, which I can't play for free because I can only play droids that are 2 cost or less to my hand. So anyways, I'm going to go for a BT1 down the battlefield here. And my opponent is just going to claim. So that way they can use the Vader effect here, because if they hadn't claimed and swung with the Anakin there, then I could have claimed, and then that would allow me to use my Yularen effect of swinging with the invisible hand and then swing with BT1, which then of course could trigger the effect, the BT1 as well. So anyways, we're going to just see a kill of BT1 with the Vader there, knocking out the shield and then using the effect to immediately kill off the invisible hand here. I don't really have much I can really do, so I'm just going to go for a Dengar down here by the state, and then my opponent can basically just kind of sit here and play board control and then just keep punching me in the face, not allowing me to do anything. As we're going to go for a 1,000 assassin, immediately killing off the Dengar, so that's just immediately going to remove that. Then we're going to go for a 000, which is probably maybe what I should have played in for, just to keep myself safe from a 1,000 assassin play. Anyways, we're going to have the Anakin kill the 000, and then basically I'm now just kind of up the road without any paddle, nothing I can really do. I mean, there's now a Vader, an Anakin, and a 1,000 assassin, now a Vader with a constructed lightsaber, which gives it rate 2. And yeah, there's nothing I can really do. That craving power is not going to help me in this game state right now when that Vader is swinging for a lot of damage. Sure, I haven't taken much in the way of damage, so I can do a couple things here. Is I'm going to go play out a interrogation droid. I was thinking about doing the interrogation droid here, but I wasn't really sure how I really wanted to play this out. I mean, I could do a couple different things. So I decided I'm going to do charge with a treason here to then deal 5 damage to a unit, so I can then kill off the 1,000 assassin if I want to. So, or I could kill off the Anakin, but I'm just going to kill off the 1,000 assassin here with charge with treason. Again, you show double red, and you can deal 5 damage to any one unit on the board state here. Otherwise, I could have done the interrogation droid, but that would have died to everything on this board state. And then we're just going to go for 3 here. I'm going to put out a 𝐒𝐻𝐶 down the board state. That's going to do nothing here. Yeah, this deck here is basically kind of a strange little strategy that you see and all that here. So we're going to see another constructed lightsaber under that. And by the way, constructed lightsaber is not a unique card. It is just a normal card here. Yeah, that's just a whole lot of damage, and I'm getting nothing, so I'm just going to scoop that one up. My opponent is going to win it all because I cannot stabilize this board state in any physical way, because my opponent has a Darth Vader wielding 2 constructed lightsabers, getting a raid 4 on his attack, so nothing I can do much about that one. Yeah, that one was fun, folks. And again, I think Yularen is a combo strategy deck where if you don't see the cards that you need to see, you definitely struggle very much into certain matchups like this matchup. So with that said, we're going to have to go into game number 2 to see if I can claw my way back into game number 2 to get the win to force that all-important game number 3. Welcome, everyone, to that all-important game number 3. Let's see what happens here. Well, unlike my opponent, I'm going to start off the game here by just simply claiming, because I didn't draw anything. I did have a hand that could start it out. My first hand, I took a mulligan and mulliganed into everything high cost. So anyways, we're going to go for an 𝐂𝐘47 here, and then my opponent, of course, started off with a Night Sister. That is going to create the force here, doing 2 damage to my base here, and then they're just going to take the initiative, no 3s to play for the turn here. I'm just immediately going to be able to put down another card here and slowly build myself up to the point where I can do anything in this game state. So anyways, we're going to go for a BT1, and BT1 is coming down to the battlefield here. Again, I wish I had a 3 cost. Anyways, we're going to just see a Thousand Assassin. Thousand Assassin is going to immediately kill off... isn't able to kill off the 𝐒𝐘47 here because of 𝐒𝐘47's effect, where he is 3 health points. And anyways, that's just going to... the Thousand Assassin deals -3/-3, and then 𝐒𝐘47, of course, is going to go down to a 0-1, and then my opponent, then I'm just going to claim the initiative here and then pass from there. So yeah, pretty nasty that I just couldn't get any setup going at all. So I'm going to flip Yularen here, then I could at least attack with 2, and then I'm going to go for Chancellor Palpatine here to allow me to, of course, get out 2 spy tokens, and then we're going to be able to make 2 spy tokens that are sentineled, so that those are my 2 spy tokens, just so everyone is aware here. But that does allow me now to attack with 2 units here. My opponent is on 5 as well, so it does allow them to drop out a couple of really nasty things as well, whatever they want to do. So out of the airlock for Yularen, that is immediately going to be able to give him -5/-5. No attack from Yularen, but I am going to swing BT1. I'm going to go for BT1 to kill off the Night Sister. That is going to allow my opponent to claim 1, and then we're going to go C4A and effect of the Maul there to then kill off my Yularen, and then we're going to have 1 damage go to 1 more object as well for whatever they want to hit with, of course, Yularen. So with Maul there, they're just going to hit the BT1 here. And then basically there's nothing else I can really do. So Thousand Assassin is going to kill a spy, and then we're just going to then trigger the gain back, of course, the force off of that, and then I'm basically just going to claim because there's nothing else I can really do here. I mean, I do have a Craving Power if I really want to Craving Power one of my guys to do something with that, or I can wait on a vehicle. I can, of course, go L337 here and then look at a bunch of things. So anyways, we're going to go swing and then kill the Thousand Assassin, and we're going to swing with the spy to kill off the Thousand Assassin here, using Yularen's effect to immediately be able to keep the board state under well control. We're just going to then use the force to kill the BT1 here. I am going to go for, of course, my big man, the Invisible Hand here, and then we're going to go look for some droids. I do like looking for droids. And then we're just going to go play out a good old Imperial Dark Trooper. I think in this game, if I remember, I drew into every single interrogation droid and put them into my resources because I could never play them. And we're going to go for a Vader and then put a shield token on the Vader and the shield token on, of course, on the Invisible Hand, because my Invisible Hand can never live here. And then we're going to have them all, I believe, is just going to go and kill the Imperial Dark Trooper here, which, of course, it's pretty interesting because they actually did this out of sequence incorrectly, because they actually because if they use Maul's effect, he actually kills off the shield token off of my Invisible Hand. So we're going to go for 1 damage onto that, and then 1 damage there. And then they're just going to do 1 damage to himself with his own effect, because he says 2 units, including himself. He doesn't say 2 other units. So it doesn't really matter. You could just pop the shield off of Vader. Vader doesn't need the shield to do anything here or anything like that. So it's going to be kind of interesting exactly what I want to do here. I definitely have to swing with the Invisible Hand before the Invisible Hand immediately just dies here to the Vader. So anyways, we're going to take a look at the top here. I do have BT1. I do have, of course, the Imperial Dark Trooper. I'm just kind of deciding what I want to do. So we're going to go for the Imperial Dark Trooper instead of grabbing the Interrogation Droid. The Interrogation Droid would have been nice here because I could have rested out the Vader, causing, of course, that to immediately be able to not immediately murk off half my board state. And then we're going to go for L337. And then we're going to look at the top, I think, 8 cards. And then I could play droids with a cost of, I think, 7 or less from my resources. So I do find an interrogation droid there. Unfortunately, I just wish it had come a little earlier before the Vader had swung. And then I could have not had to worry about that. So anyways, we're going to put out a 000, and then, no, it's 5 or less, sorry, not 7 or less. Then we're going to go put out 000 and the interrogation droid here, allowing me to, of course, then rest them all, but my opponent doesn't get to pitch anything because there's no point. And that they do have the force right now because of the Vader swing, and right now, everything's not going my way. My opponent is now in their late game, and they are going to be able to drop big bombs on me that are going to be very nasty. As we're going to go for a Chariot. Chariot does able to give the force to give a -3 here. As we're going to also put down a Secretive Sage coming in on a shield token. That is a shield token, by the way. Yes, I know it's upside down, but it is a shield. I do have the ability to go for Yularen to go for 2 swings here. Chariot's just going to be able to, well, mitigate anything I can really do here. So anyways, I'm going to go for a Craving Power. under, of course, 000, and then we can kill off the Vader there, because again, that is just the bigger threat right now because it is a 6-cost attacker. But again, there are different ways to get stop me, as we're just going to go for the Lost and Forgotten, the melee merc off the 000 that couldn't even do anything in this game. Woohoo! And then again, the turret still has all its effects. Haymaker, unfortunately, can't really do anything. There would have been maybe a point, maybe I should have gone Devastator to kill off the Maul here. Dealing 2 damage to Maul, and then going through the shield on the Secretive Sage there as well. I mean, there is that point here. We're going to go for the only way I know how to kill turret, aggressive negotiations to attack the turret, and then basically, because no matter if turret uses the force, it doesn't really matter. We're going to have the Secret Sage kill off the interrogation droid, knocking out its shield, and then my opponent's going to go for a 𝐂𝐻, and then I'm basically just going to claim because there's nothing else to do. I'm going to take 5 damage to my base. My opponent does have to ping 2 of his own guys because of Maul's trigger is not it's a mandatory trigger, so you do have to go for a mandatory swing on the effect here. So we are in the late game for both of us right now, so I do have Devastator, I do have all that, but my problem is my opponent just has more Vaders, so they could just drop another Vader on me and then basically make me in pain. So basically, we're going to go kill off the Maul with 1 damage, kill off the Secretive Sage, and then we're going to do... technically, that should not be 2 damage to the 𝐂𝐻. Technically, that should be not 2 damage on the 𝐂𝐻, because to kill off the Secretive Sage, I would have had to... done the 2 damage to it altogether. So yeah, so we do get to the Maul, I forgot, pinged 1 damage on the Sage there. So sorry, that was correct. That was 1 damage Maul, 1 damage Sage, 2 damage 𝐂𝐻, and then I just claimed the initiative because I now have to utilize the effect of this Devastator, which unfortunately just doesn't have a way to knock out that shield, any possibility or anything like that. So I mean, yeah, the Vader really does suck when it just keeps coming down, basically forcing my big ships to 100% come down. I'm just kind of deciding if I want to do anything. I decided to put a Haymaker away because I'm never going to be able to... Right now, I can't stabilize the board enough to even use Haymaker. Anyways, we're just going to swing in 6 damage from the Vader, immediately killing off the Devastator off the battlefield because, hey, that just makes complete sense, doesn't it? I mean, I love that Vader. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love what that Vader can do here. And so I'm going to go look for some more droids, more robots, beep-boops. Everywhere, everybody. More beep-boops. Anyway, we're going to put down an Imperial Dark Trooper because I don't have any more interrogation droids. 2 are in my resources. 1 is in my trash. So all my interrogation droids are dead. So we're going to go for a Shadow Point Burning the Force to immediately kill that thing off the board. And my opponent's just basically going to be able to control everything here. So we're going to go for a 000 to allow me to start recycling the board state. We're going to have triple attack, and then we're going to gain the Force, then use 𝐂𝐻 to kill use the Force to immediately kill the 000. And then we're going to put down the Vigilant Scouts, and then basically that it will be a scoop. That will be a finish up there. And I am now running out of anything to really do. My opponent is now just basically saying, control my board with nothing I can do about it. I can like go craving power onto a Imperial Dark Trooper, and that's really about it. So anyways, I'm going to do 3 damage to my opponent's base and then immediately have it killed off with the Vader here. And then immediately we're going to have the Vigilant Scouts kill off the of course, the Imperial Dark Trooper. And then I'm going to put out the V-Wings, I forget what they're called, but anyways, it doesn't matter. We're going to go for a Whirlwind of Power, because as long as we control a Force unit, basically give us -3, killing us off instantly, as we're going to have the Vader swing in and then gain the Force as well. We're going to go for Benthic 2 tubes on attack. I could deal 1 damage to one of my opponent's guys here. We're going to go for the Anakin to kill off the droid missile platform, then 3 indirect damage coming at my opponent on death. So it looks like we're just going to do... 1 indirect damage through the shield of the Vader, and then 2 onto the Anakin. Because again, indirect damage deals damage straight through the shields there, and then that's pretty much it. I just decided to draw my 2 cards here, because I just claimed the initiative. There's nothing else my opponent can really do. And the game is basically pretty much well over. I only have a Benthic 2 tubes, and that is really it. Is my opponent just drew the sun, which means that all his guys just get a +2 to their attack, meaning that there's no way I'm surviving anything here. So anyways, we're going to have Benthic 2 tubes. We're going to ping off the shield off of the Vader, and then dealing 3 damage to my opponent's base there. Because of Benthic 2 tubes effect on attack, I can deal 1 damage to a unit, killing off, of course, Vader's shield, but I don't think that's really going to honestly matter too much in this board state, because there's not much I can do here. So we're going to go for Vigilant Scouts to deal 3 damage and then heal off 2 there. We're going to go for Craving Power to immediately deal 5 damage. We're going to kill off the Anakin here to immediately remove it from the battlefield, just so I don't have to deal with that damage coming in at me, as well as having now a 5/4 body on the battlefield, which means Vader would technically die if Vader decides to swing at it. Anyways, we're just going to go for a Lost and Forgotten, and then we're going to deal 1 extra damage on the death to the Vigilant Scout there. All that. So anyways, from there, 1 more damage to the base. We're going to go for Charge with Murder, and then we're going to kill off the Vader with that, showing the 2 red there. So I'm trying to keep in this game. It's just like I just can't stabilize my board. I just can't keep bodies, and I just drew into a Haymaker. I drew into things that don't help me. Like, I can go another Benthic, and then I can go Haymaker, and then do all that. So anyways, that's what we're going to do. We're going to bring down the Benthic. But, again, there's just nothing my opponent could do. And here comes Nihilus. Nihilus, I thought that was a sun. Sorry, that's Nihilus. Nihilus to kill Benthic, deal 1 damage next to my base. And then, of course, Nihilus gets an extra token here. And then I probably should just scoop this one up. This game is not in any way my favor. I just scooped that one up. And game number 3 goes to Maul LOF Force Blue. So even though it's a completely different Maul player, it still claims a victory against me. Oh well. Well, guys, I hope you enjoy. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments on the decks, on the gameplay. And while you guys are commenting, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you know if I with my videos go live for you. And we'll see you here next time on Maul and Dragons TCG.